Hi everyone. Today in this session, as part of our programming session, we will continue, right? So before starting, as usual, let me revise what we studied in the previous class, right? So then we can discuss about new things in today's class. So in lecture 2, these are some of the following things we talked about Python, right? So I briefed about previous class. Then we talk about the features of Python, right? What are the features available in Python? And then we show how to install Python, right? Then we check how to see whether Python has been installed in our computer or not, right? So you have to go to CMD, and from there you have to type Python hyphen version, right? If the Python is installed, it will show you the version of Python. Otherwise, it will display an unrecognized message, right? And also in CMD, we can use we can use interactively with Python, right? That's one of the features of Python. So for that, you have to start CMD with this Python. So let me show the example. So you can type Python. Then now you are in interactive mode, so you can assign variable b is equal to 20, c equal a plus b, and then if you want to print c, you will get 30, right? This is Python interpreter. If you want to leave Python interpreter, we have to use the function quiet, right? So now we are back to our cmd command, right? So this is the way we can go to Python in interactive mode. And then we discussed about keywords in Python, right? What they mean by keyword. And then we saw there are 33 keywords in Python. And also Python is a case sensitive programming language, right? Case sensitive programming language. And then we discussed about syntax. Under syntax, we discussed about identifiers like class, function, variable, how we have to name those identifiers, right? These are some of the things we discussed in the previous class, right? So as a continuation of the previous class, we will discuss new things today. So let me take a new sheet. So if you remember where we stopped is on the syntax or naming convention, right? Syntax or naming convention. So now we are discussing the rules. If you want to give a variable name or class name or function name, how we should give the name, right? That's what we are discussing. Rule 1, we saw that you can either use small a to z or capital A to Z, or any digits, right? You can use digits. So, for example, you can give num1, num2, num3 as variable names. But we try to give this one num, 2 num, and we got some error, right? Why we got the error? Because we are just fine with the rule number 1, where the rule number 2 says you can't start any identifier with the digit. So you have to use any of this, right? You can't use this one, right? But you can use small or capital letter, right? That's the rule number 2. So the rule number 3, you can't use any keywords as identifiers. That is very clear, right? Because in the last class also we very clearly discussed about that, right? Keywords are reserved words. It has explicit meaning when it comes to programming language. So in our case, we are discussing about Python. So Python has around 33 keywords. Those keywords explicitly has their own meaning, right? So we can't use them for any other purpose. So in that way, we can't give any keyword as a variable. For example, you can't declare like this, because if is a reserved word, right? It has some meaning in Python. Rule number 4, special characters you can't use, right? So something like this, and symbol, at symbol, and so on. You can't use special characters except underscore, right? Except underscore. Underscore is accepted to the extent that you can even start the variable with underscore. For example, num1. This is also accepted, right? Let me show one example. So Python. So let's declare variable with starting with underscore. Num1 equal 10. Now I want to print. I want to output num1. So hopefully we will get the output 10, right? So it means it is accepted as a variable. So these are the 4 basic rules when it comes to naming identifiers. So it can be either variable or class or function. Finally, it's not a rule actually, right? But we can take it as a rule. There is no any length requirement. There is no any length requirement, meaning from one character, so A is equal to 10, you can go with any characters, right? And if you want to take it another rule, right? If you are using more than one word, if you are using more than one word, right? If you are using more than one word, you can't leave space. You can't leave space. You can't type variable like this. number space 0 1 equal 10 or 20, then you will get the error, right? You can't declare like this. So here you can't make a space. So these are the main rules we have to follow when we want to name any identifiers. And now let's come to standard practice. So you know rules we have to follow, right? Rules must be followed. You can't break it, right? So if you break it, it will go against the syntax rules and you will get the error. Standard practice. So when we work as a team or individual, we have to have some standard practices. It means something we have to do in the same way. Like I told one example in the previous class. So when a guy goes to a wedding house, that's a common standard practice among us, right? We wear a trouser and full sleeve shirt and we in the shirt and we go, right? Wearing shoe. That's a standard practice. Even if you want, we can wear the saran, right? No one is going to stop us. But that's a common practice because many people started to practice that and now it has become as a standard, right? That way, in programming also, we have some standards we have to follow. It makes easy, right? In practical situation, in a project, we don't work alone, right? We work with many people in a team. So in that way, if we follow the standard practice, it will be easy for us to work as a team. Because let's say, for example, if I ask you to write number one, if I ask you to write number one, you may write in several ways. Someone may be typing like this, number one. Another one may type like this, number one. Another one may be type number one. Maybe someone may type everything in capital. Then there are problems, right? There are problems. So to avoid these issues, we should follow standard practices. For example, if you use more than one, if you use more than one word as a variable name, if it is a variable, start with small and capital. For example, if you want to declare a variable, account number, you can type like this, account number is a standard way, right? So you are starting with the small letter, and when you use more than one word, here there are two words, account and number, right? So when you start the second word, you are starting with the capital number. So it is also easy to read as well, right? That's why we start the second word with the capital. For example, if I type sometimes it may be difficult to understand. So if I write this way, I am all right, right? I am all right. Then it's easy to read, right? So if it is a variable, we start with the small letter, and if we use more than one word, the second word, from second word we start with the capital letter, so it gives us readability, right? If you want to practice this throughout your programming. And then if you want to give a class name or variable name, class name, if you want to give a class name, So that comes under object oriented. So, but anyway, if you want to give the class name or function name, start with capital. So it's like this: my class, my class. So first letter you are starting with capital, and second word also you are starting with capital. Only difference between variable name and class name is that when it comes to variable name, we started with a small letter, and here when it comes to capital letter, when it comes to class, we started with capital letter, right? It's one standard. Another standard, keep it meaningful, right? Keep it something meaningful. It doesn't need to be very lengthy or it doesn't need to be very small. A is equal to 10, then we don't know what is A, right? We don't know what is A, right? So give something meaningful. So account balance equal 20 or something like this. It should be self-descriptive, so it is easy because when we work with actual programming, there we will have to work with several tens of variables. So if we see, we should understand, okay, this is that, right? So it's easy, right? And then another component is also there, that is constant, right? That is constant. So we will discuss about variable shortly, right? So now let's understand constant, right? Constant means something fixed. It will not change. That is we call constant. Variable is something that will vary, change from time to time. It will change. That's what we call variable. For example, when we do maths, we type like this: x plus y is equal to 10, x minus y is equal to 6, something like that. So x and y are unknown values, right? And we usually say variable. So constant, for example, there are constants. For example, pi. Pi we know 3.14, right? 3.14. Likewise, gravity of Earth. So we know 3.8, sorry, 9.8 meter per second. So these are constants. So sometime in programming, we will have to use constant. For example, when let's say we are writing a mathematical related application, then let's say we have to use pi. So pi is 3.14, right? It is always 3.114. We can't assign any other value. So in that case, we take it as constant, right? So when we declare any constant, we use everything in capital, everything in capital, right? Everything in capital. So like I wrote, pi equal 3.14. So it is in everything in capital. Now let's talk about variable, right? Variable is one of the most important thing in programming. If we have very good understanding about variable, then programming will be very easy. Programming will be very easy. Variables. right? So since these are earlier classes, right? So this is our third session. So these are some of the fundamentals we have to have very clear understanding, right? If you have a very good understanding about the basics, you can apply this to any programming language, right? Because basic is almost same for all the programming languages except the syntactical or keyword related differences. Excuse me. Right. So now let's talk about variables. Right. This is one of the most important thing in any programming, right? This is also the beauty of any programming languages, right? So variables simply mean placeholders, right? Placeholder. For example, let's say we have a room. We have a room, right? And we reserve 8 seats. We reserve 8 seats. Let's say room 1. So now here, now when you reserve 8 seats, what does it do? It takes memory. It takes space in your building. So let's say this is a classroom. This is a classroom, right? Now we are reserving 8 seats here, right? But so in our place we have only this kind of space, only this amount of space we have. Now for the class 1 we have allocated this space, so hoping that we can accommodate maximum 8 people, right? We can maximum accommodate 8 people. So when you assign any variable, it takes space. It will take the space. Of course, it will take the space. In programming, this will be reflected in memory. So programming will reserve some memory allocations, right? We call it memory allocation, right? Placeholder. And another meaning of variable is here. So now we have reserved a place where we can maximum accommodate up to 8 people. So now 10 o'clock we can accommodate a new batch, and after some time or maybe after 2 hours there can be any new people. There can be any new people provided that they are within the limit of 8. So that's the meaning of variables in programming too, right? Because let's assume we build a point of sale system. Point of sales, simply we call POS. Normally you can see it in any supermarkets, right? POS system. So when you point of sales, we mean why we mean point of sale, because at the end of sales, at the point of sale, we they check out us and they provided our bill, so we make the payment and we come out, right? So here every time different customers will buy different things, right? Different customers will buy different things. So the calculation, the value should be something variable, right? Someone may buy milk powder, another person can buy biscuit, on someone may buy chocolate. So the prices are different, right? In that case, the total value, the final net net value is going to change. If you give a fixed value for all of this, what will happen? The output is going to be a fixed one. So this cannot be, right? Because different people will different number of items. So the ultimate output should be something dynamic based on the items purchased by the customer. So it will be changing, right? That's what we call by variable. Excuse me, give me a minute. Okay, so in programming 2, we have to have this provision. Otherwise, we can't work with programming. For example, let's say we are going to create a calculator. So let me write the algorithm. The output total. So what we want to do is we want to add two numbers. So first we input any two numbers. It can be any number, right? That's what it means. Someone may input 10 and someone and 20. In that case, our output is going to come as 30. And another person may input 100, here 50. So our output is going to come as 150. So the input values are different. So it varies, right? So that's the meaning of variable, right? So programming also has the same meaning and has the same provision. So not exception to the Python, right? Python also has the same meaning when it comes to variable. So under identifiers, variable is one of the most important thing. So the same naming rules apply, right? You can use A to Z or capital A to Z or underscore or digit 0 to 9, but you can't start with digit. You can't use any special character like this, right? Can't leave space. It can be any number of length, and also okay, that's all I think, right? So these are some of the rules that we have to follow when we give naming. So let me show one example. So now we are writing A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A plus B. Now if you want to output, we had used the method print in Python. So if you output C, now in this line, the meaning of A is equal to 10, right? Okay, give me 1 minute. I will take this here. A is equal to 10. Here, This A is the variable name. Is it a valid variable name? Yes. It doesn't break any other rule, right? The moment if I put like this, 1, now it's not a valid variable name because we can't start with the number, right? Now the program will throw the error, right? This is assignment, right? This is actually assignment operator. This is we call actually assignment. What it means is, so equal sign, it is equalizing, right? So now in programming, it is called assignment operator. What it will do is, it will assign the right side value to the left. It will assign right side value to the left side. So here the 10 will be assigned to the variable A. That's what the meaning of this equal assignment operator. And this one we call value. We call value, right? This is simply we can call variable declaration. Variable declaration and assignment. So now A equal 10, meaning 10 is assigned to A. So after this, whenever you call A's values will be equal to 10. Now you type A is equal to 10. Now again you type A is equal to 20. Now you want to print A. So what will be the output? If you output here, the output will be 10. But if you output here, the output will be 20 because this line will override the value, right? We can reassign. That's what the meaning of variable. It will allow to reassign the value. So here in line 1, it's 10. In line 2, it's 20, right? So let me show some simple example using basic programming here. Number 1 equal 100. Number 2 equal to 100. Total equal number 1 plus number 2. Now print total is total. So here within quotation it is string. Now this total is the total here, that is the variable. So let's compile this and see what will be the output, right? So I'm going to save it here. So let me give the file name ex2.py. That's the Python extension. Now I am just save this file. I will just save this. Now I am in the same folder, so you can see our file is here, ex2.py. So let me run this file, Python, and then ex2.py. So we get the output, total is 300. So variable, the reason because, right, getting the output like this, right? So actually what we will do is, this is not actually what we need. we will modify this in such a way that we can get the input from user. So like a calculator, right? Anyone wants to use the calculator, they can give their own value and they can get the output. So that's a ultimate purpose of the programming, right? So variables are very important. Variables are very important. So and I am again and again repeating the rules, right? Because it should be very clear. So though it's a very simple thing, at the beginning it may be a little harder to understand, right? So now let's say I am writing few names as variable and let's identify or let's try to identify whether these are valid variable names or not. So num a 1 abc underscore xyz num 1 20 x equal 20 at abc equal 10. If equal 20. Right now, let's say one by one, let's see one by one whether these are valid variable names or not. So num1 is a correct one, right? We are starting with the number, right? So it's a correct variable name. So this is wrong. This is wrong because we can't start with any digit. This is correct. Here there are letters and also we have used underscore, so we can start with underscore, then it's a valid variable. Num1, this is invalid because we can't leave a space here, right? Variable name should be as a continuation, we can't make any space here. So we have declared the value, this part is correct, but this is wrong. Why? Because we can't start with the digits, so ultimately this is wrong. So this is very declaration here. Up to this is correct, but this is wrong because we can't start with any special character except underscore, right? So ultimately this is wrong. This looks like a correct one, so we have used a small letter assignment operator and 20, but this cannot be because this is a if is part of the reserved keyword, so keyword cannot be used as a variable or any identifier, so this will throw some error. So we can check it. If I save this, now let me rerun this. Now we get the error, invalid syntax. Why? Because if is a reserved keyword. So we had to put number 1, right? Right now total is 300. Now let's move to some practicals in today's class, right? With that we can wind up today's class. Okay, let me take a new sheet. Now if we want to do something like this, input first name and last name, output full name. And this is what we want to do, right? This is what we want to do. So how do we write the code? Let's type this, new file. So I'm giving first name equal John, last name equal Hugh. Now full name, full name equal first name plus last name. Now let's output greetings. Full name. ex3.py, all files. Now let me run this Python ex3.py. So now we get a syntax error, right? What's the syntax error? See here, it's good that we get a syntax error. What's the syntax error? Now you see the error carefully. Name error. Name, first name is not defined, so the error is here in line 3. 1, 2, 3. In line 3 there's a error. What's the error? First name is not defined. If you carefully observe here we have typed everything in small. First name, everything is in small here, but the variable declaration where we have used capital N. As you know, Python is a case sensitive programming language. Here the variable name is small first, then capital N name, right? First name. But here we have used as everything in small. This is wrong. So now we have to make this capital one, right? Now hopefully we will get the output, right? Greetings John Dew, right? So if you want to make a space between first name and last name, you can do so. I'll get the output like this, right? Greetings John Dew. So that's all for today. Summarize what we have studied today. So we discussed about naming rules in Python for identifiers, right? And we had a couple of examples and variables, what we mean by variables, also constant, and then we started to talk about data types. So these are what we covered in today's session. Hopefully we will continue in next class, right? Thank you very much.